Hey, Michelle, how are you doing?
I'm good, Steven. Thanks. How are you doing?
Good. Now, some people might be thinking, wait a minute, this looks an awful lot like Foyer Tips. And it's true, it does look a lot like Foyer Tips. And in 2 hours, we're going to be back here looking pretty much the same, but we're going to do Foyer Tips. But first,
Steven, that's not true. I was planning on an outfit change, actually.
you're really putting the pressure on me now. What we thought we'd do it this time is kind of run through how Apex DDD works. So let's just dive in on that one, right? So
Yep.
Apex DDD is a new site, a new initiative put together by 4 different Apex groups: United Codes, MTAG, FOIX, and INSOM, to provide a new way for Apex and Oracle database developers to help other Oracle Apex and Oracle database developers. So let's see, share my screen, I guess. We're going to share both of our screens, but start with me.
I'll start with your screen. Yep.
So what you see here is the homepage of the production Apex DDD. We're not going to be doing our stuff in production, but I just want to show you what we're talking about here. So what you see is that 392 Apex Oracle database developers have signed on to help other developers. 392.
That's crazy.
And of those 392, currently, we've got 784 30-minute time slots that they've set aside on November 30th to help you. Of those, 743 are still available. So right now, we've got over 300 hours of free support from other developers around the world for you to sign up and grab. And we're going to show you how to do that. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to switch over to our acceptance environment so we don't play around in production. Though I sure love to play around in production, as some people know.
And I definitely don't want you using up my time slots, and you don't want me using up your time slots.
Right, that's right. Okay, so that's why the numbers look different. So when you come to APEXd2d.net, first of all, what you'll have to do is create your account. In fact, let's sign out so we show them this. So the first thing you want to do is register. You can register as a helper or as a developer who needs help. If you register as a developer, you can also ask for help. You don't have to register twice. Yep. So just provide your basic information. We then send you a verification email. You then are prompted to create the rest of your profile, set up your account, and then you can sign in. And you can sign in either by clicking on sign in or clicking on get help. So I'm going to sign in as my non-helper account. Okay, I've signed in. It takes me right to my dashboard. I've got my profile that I can set up. I can provide a picture and a little biographical information about myself. Most importantly, let's go in there. Most importantly for this one is you want to tell us about your languages, and you can tell us your skill set as well. But if you tell us the languages you're comfortable in getting help or giving help in, then we can help match you up with someone else with the same language or set of languages. So you don't have to have your session in English necessarily. I've decided I'm prolific in English, French, and German, which is totally not true.
Steven, you say most importantly languages, but we'd encourage people to put up a photo and enter their bio as well, because as you're connecting with helpies, it's kind of nice to know a little bit about who you'll be working with ahead of time. So certainly the languages are important, but if you can, take that extra step, upload a picture, tell us about yourself. I think that would be.
Yes, that would be really good. The more information you give to the system, to your fellow members, the more that we can help each other. Yeah. But what I want to do is request a session. Now, just a couple of things to point out here. You can get up to 10 sessions that day, so up to 5 hours of time on November 30th. You can only request at most one session with any specific helper. So you can't say, I'm going to grab all of Steven's time. We got to share everybody's wonderful time across as many developers as possible. Okay, so I'm going to request a session. Now, you can see that there's no sessions listed yet because I have to tell Apex DDD what I need help with. And help, by the way, can be, I've got a problem, or it could be, I've got some code. I solved a problem, but I'd like some feedback on the quality of code, and maybe I should fix it.
Because Steven, if I'll just add on, as helpers sign up to the system, they're actually asked to specify what particular topics they feel particularly able to help others with. So, experts don't have to be experts in everything. Maybe I'm particularly good at PLSQL. And so I could just put that in. So that's why this topic selection is important.
And by the way, so I'm gonna look for people who can help me with PLSQL performance, because I stink at that. And we've got a bunch of different people here. But look, oh, there's Michelle. I've heard of Michelle. I've heard she's really, really good. And it looks like 11 o'clock my time, and I can change my time zone as desired. But, oh, in fact, U.S. Eastern. Steven, you moved. So notice now the time changes. I can see it in my time. So this looks good. Noon on the 30th. I don't have anything set for lunchtime. I'm going to request that session. So I've now requested a session with Michelle on this performance topic. I do have a problem I want to solve, or I could say, really, I'm just looking for a code review. Solve my problem. This is a small bug we're going to be fixing. You should only see the languages we have in common. I'm going to pick English. And then I really do need to say I've got this table function.
So it was showing the languages that I've specified that I can help in, correct?
Right. So basically the helper and the helpee each come up with their list of languages. We'll provide you with a match of people. And then even within that match, if both of us have English and French, I could say, I'd really like to do this session in French. And then the person can accept it. So you have that final choice here. And it is running too slowly. Here's some code. I can put in some code. Okay, so I've written my message. I request a session. And now if I go back to my dashboard, you can see that I've got one session requested. I've got 9 left, and it's pending. So let's now hand it off to you.
Yep. I just wanted to say hi, Nicholas, and thank you so much for being one of our D2D helpers.
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay, so I will switch over to my screen. Here we go. Steven requesting that session with myself it actually fired off an email to me. Now, I don't necessarily feel like sharing my messy inbox with you, but trust that I did get an email. But within the application, this is when I log in now with my helper account. This is I'm just going to refresh that. This is my screen. So these are all of the colored slots are the slots that I've made myself available for on November 30th. The dark green ones are just my open available slots. The green ones are slots that developers have requested and that I have confirmed. And the orange pending ones are the ones that developers have requested of me that I still have to accept or reject. Sorry?
You're popular.
You've got a lot of popular. Certainly in acceptance testing, I'm popular. Steven, did you request noon? This is yours. All right. So I open this up and I can see that the session was requested by Steven in English. Here's where he's provided a little bit of extra information to me. And I can either accept that session, reject the session, or actually reject user, because Steven has actually been harassing me online. We've got a history. He's just constantly bugging me. I don't even want to ever see any session requests from Steven. So that's hopefully nobody has to use that frequently, but the option is there to reject the user.
And I really just want to emphasize that. So I think one of the takeaways from that little message there is that we've really thought in a lot of detail about how this should work, and the developers have been great in turning around a pretty, I think, robust application. So we don't think you're likely to be having to say, I not only reject the session, but I don't want this user to be able to ask for any more sessions with me. But that's what reject user will do.
Yeah.
But since I'm a very nice guy, you're going to accept this, right?
I am going to accept it because I'm actually fantastic with table functions and performance. So I'm going to accept this here. Session link is where the helper provides the collaboration tool link for the session to run in. And actually, well, I don't actually have mine offhand, but here's the link to my Zoom.
So the way that works, folks, is that in your profile, you can add a link, which would be your generic link. Let's say you don't care. You're just going to have a single link for all your sessions. You can set it at the profile level. It will automatically show up here. If, however, you'd rather have a separate link with a separate password for each one of your sessions, preserving your current general password you use for your meetings, you can provide an override or a session link here specifically. And it looks like we're not doing any validation on it.
On the format of it?
Yeah.
Well, we will see in a second. All right, here we go. So great. I get a message that it's been accepted. Steven will have received an email saying that I've accepted the session. And that is now green over here,
Wait,
showing that it's
wait.
been confirmed.
You won't receive an email saying I've accepted, I believe at this point. If in our next release, if the helper replies with a comment, they'll be able to add a comment like I need a little bit more information or whatever.
Okay.
Then they'll get an email. But the acceptance, it'll just show up on your screen. So in fact, why don't you switch back to my screen now?
Yep.
Woo, the bouncing screens. And so let's suppose I came back in here. Let's just go here. Let's go here. And I go back to get help. Now it's nice and green. It's approved. So this is now on my calendar. And in fact, not on my calendar. It's now been approved. I can add it to my calendar by clicking on Add to Calendar. Here's the link. And we'll make sure it's not active until before the session starts. And also, if you decide for some reason, you know what? Oh, I can't make it at that time. After all, I can cancel the session. Either one of you can cancel at any time. And then an email will be sent to the other person. So I think that covers the basics of requesting a session and approving a session. And you can just keep on requesting until you're down to 0 remaining. You can look for different kinds of topics. You can even add multiple topics. And what we'll then do is find the best match for you. So you can see we're showing the number of matches. Let's see, and here's a
topic matches.
Topic matches, right? Mm-hmm. So it's organized by time, and then within each time slot, we'll show you first who has the best match for you. So Michelle has 2 out of 3 of my topic matches. It even crosses out the ones that don't apply. Boy, these developers have been busy. Note also that I said, oh, I've got a 2 out of 3 match for this one. I want to go back to Michelle, but I've already reserved a session with Michelle, so I cannot request another one at this time. So that's a limitation we currently have. And it could be that in the next release, we actually won't even show you Michelle if you've already gotten a session with her. I can't remember where that stands. Okay, anything else?
Actually, I'll share my screen quickly because I think there's something that we glossed over quickly. On this screen, we did explain what all of the color codes were, but you do have this option to filter. So if you just want to see on your helper screen, show me just my booked sessions, you'll just see the booked ones, which ones are pending that I still have to validate. Steven, how awesome has our dev team been on this? I mean, honestly, when I see
as awesome
everything
as
that's
Apex.
been done, so hats off I was going to start naming them, but I'm so worried that I'm going to miss them. We will make sure to call everybody out.
I'd just like to say that, yes, the developers have been great, but this would not have been possible at all without Oracle Apex and database. I mean, we have been moving so quickly to get this developed. And this is with everybody working part-time, off hours, that sort of thing. And it wouldn't even have been something anybody would have tried without this kind of really powerful tech stack available to them. So just this whole initiative right now is another validation of Apex and database. So and scroll up to the top again. Let's see. So I just want to make sure we don't miss anything. So you've got your filtering, you've got your time zone that you can set, and just be aware, depending on your time zone, Apex DDD is November 30th UTC.
Right.
So at the first second of November 30th UTC time, which essentially is Central Europe, pretty much the same, that's when it starts. So for example, I set up as my first session in production. I'm available at 7 o'clock on Monday night, the day before November 30th, because for me, that's the first session available. I thought, let's give it a try. Let's be the guinea pig. And we've already got somebody booked for that one. So my point is, and you'll see all the details on the text there, it's text heavy, not the best UI. But it could be that November 30th for you is actually a little bit on November 29th or a little bit on December 1st. Hopefully that December 1st. Hopefully that's not going to be too confusing.
There is something we forgot to mention here. So this is my helper profile. Steven mentioned at the outset that even if you're a helper, that doesn't mean that you can also request help from others. So there's another tab here, which is your sessions. Those are sessions that you've requested help with or help for. So in the same way that Steven requested help as what we like to call a helpee or a developer, I can do the same here and also request a session the exact same functionality, but just wanted to show that helpers can also request help in the same way. So if I need help with CSS, I can request a session with Mario.
And I'm pretty sure we don't let you request a session with yourself. I think we plugged that hole.
Well, yeah. And if someone tries and it works, then congratulations, you've got a session with yourself. So I'm going to request this session here. And
back to the dashboard.
Go back to my dashboard and my sessions. So I have the same view that Steven does. So over here in this tab, if for whatever reason I decide I'm no longer available to be a helper on November 30th, there is this option here to stop being a helper, and that will automatically cancel any sessions that I've accepted with people. So just know that you've got this option here to stop being a helper.
One more thing. Yes, that's right. So we've already talked about setting languages. Probably the other most important thing as a helper is to tell us what you can help with. So that's that box on the bottom of your dashboard. You click on Manage Topics.
Manage Topics.
And you just pick your categories across the top. We've got Apex SQL and PLSQL, and who knows where we'll go in the future.
Yeah.
And then you can.
So here, if I just want to indicate which Apex topics I'm comfortable with, super easy. Just click, and those are selected. So those are now available for other developers to help match with me. Same for SQL, PLSQL. So that's how helpers choose the topics that they're able to
just a quick comment on the topics. As you can see, for Apex, there are lots and lots of topics. For SQL and PLSQL, there is a smaller set of topics. We tried to come up with things that we think most apply to developers writing within Apex. But there's also, although it's in acceptance, it's called Other. In production, it's PLSQL General, and there's also a General for SQL and Apex. So if you have a question on PLSQL that doesn't tie into or SQL that doesn't tie into those specific options, just pick the general topic. And those of us who have picked, supporting general, will pick that up. You'll see that when you request the session, and then we'll pick it up. And over time, we might expand the choices for SQL and PLSQL. Right now, it's kind of Apex focused. So now let's talk about, if you could stop sharing. So now let's just talk about the flow of the upcoming week. So between now and November 29th, we have more and more helpers actually signing up every day. Our challenge right now, your challenge, is take advantage of this amazing opportunity. We have literally several hundred hours of free online support for you to take advantage of. And it's our challenge too. We have to get the word out widely. And in any case, between now and Monday, find those, reserve your sessions. Helpers, make sure your information is available. Then on Monday, we'll send out information, each helper and each developer, with their schedule. Here's your schedule for the day tomorrow. Here's when you've got sessions that you're giving. Here's when you got sessions that you're getting help on. So it'll be easy for you to keep track of what's going on. And then 30 minutes before your session, you'll get an email saying, hey, your session's about to start. Here's the topic. Here's the session link. You'll be able to click on that and go to the link. And I should emphasize that because we haven't yet. APEXd2d.net is not providing some sort of Zoom account for everybody to use. You're each responsible for providing your own Zoom link or MS Teams link or a Google Meet link, whatever you decide to use. It is your responsibility to do that. Hopefully that's not a big deal because you can get a free Zoom account. You get free 40-minute sessions. These are 30-minute max sessions with your helpers, though there's nothing stopping you all from going longer, but we're scheduling them in 30-minute blocks. And the other thing is that, though we can't show you this yet, it's still in development, but once the session is started and is over, you can go back in APEXd2d.net, you can click on that session card, and you'll get your post-session modal. That'll give you the opportunity to give us feedback. You can rate the helper can rate the developer. You can provide private notes. Here are things I want to remember from the session, and public notes that the developer or helper can also see. And you can also let us know if the problem was solved. And we really hope you'll go back and fill those in, because that's the kind of feedback we need to improve the app, to show people how valuable it is, and hopefully continue it on past November 30th. So,
I think we've covered most.
We covered it. Yeah, on the one hand, there's not a lot of different things to do on the site, which I think is good. I think there's a lot of subtlety and nuance in what we've implemented. Hopefully everybody will enjoy it. If you find an issue, let us know. There's no feedback on the site itself. We should probably fix that. But you can email info@apexddd.net. You can direct message me or the Apex DDD account on Twitter, whatever. I just got an email from a friend at Oracle who said, I put in my session link, but I need to change it. How do you change it? Well, thank you, Steve. We need to add that. So as of Friday, you'll be able to update your session link, and email will go out. Boy, it is fun building on the fly against a short deadline.
Yes.
So you just let us know if you run into an issue, and we'll fix it real fast, because it's Apex and it's Oracle and it's SQL and it's PLSQL. All right, I think that'll do it. So folks, take advantage of this great opportunity, and thanks for all your support and interest. And I'll see some of you in another couple hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, right.
Time for a quick outfit change, Steven.
That's right. And a little promo. So what I'm going to talk about on 4 tips today are the things I am thankful for about PLSQL and Oracle and my life, more or less, the day before Thanksgiving.
Awesome.
See you then.
Look forward to it. See you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye.